3 quick debrief questions I want you parents to incorporate into this. And kids, you can use this too with your parents. But what did you notice when you said what you don't know? All right, question number 1. What did you notice when you said what you didn't know? Number 2, what felt easier or harder about being that clear? And number 3, where could this help you later today? All right. Parents, if the child says nothing, I want you to acknowledge that they didn't answer, that they're pausing, and say, I noticed you paused. What were you thinking about? You can also say, was it easier to say what you knew or what you didn't? Now, if you have a teenager who's not quite answering or has paused or hesitated, you can tell them, you don't have to explain it. Did saying something or did saying, I don't know, feel different? Okay? And get them to explain that part. Did saying something, I don't know, feel different? Parents, you can also help to reinforce this behavior by saying, I'm noticing how trust builds when we are this clear. Now, I would also suggest that parents, you watch for vague answers. In the moment, when there is some hesitation or something, you can say, as a parent, for example, say what you know and what you don't. In other words, tell me what you do know for sure, and tell me what you think, but you're going to go verify. If the child is kind of going into that vague answer, pause them and say, let's be clear, not careful. In other words, they're carefully choosing their words to avoid trouble. So let's be clear, not careful. And then you can reinforce that later by praising just plain spoken truth. Nora was explaining to her parents why she missed a deadline for a school project. She had a story ready, one that made it sound like the delay was not really all her fault, or that was mostly out of her control. She started talking, and her dad was just sitting there listening quietly, not interrupting, and halfway through she stopped. And she said, that's not the whole truth. I put it off longer than I should have. And her parents stayed calm. Mom nodded, thank you for saying that. So she was being honest. And then Nora explained what actually happened.